Nova Online has lost everything, and he's got no one but himself to blame. The past few weeks have not been very kind to Gabriel Gage, infamous internet predator, and recently recipient of endless betrayal, once again all well earned. Recently, Gabe has thrown his lot in with a group quite like himself. They're called UTTP, and they are well known for spreading disturbing as well as illegal content. Well, through this alliance, Nova found further friendship with a fan of his named Alice, also known as the girl from the infamous Nova fangirl videos, where she built a literal shrine to him. Well, she and Nova decided that they didn't like the way he was being covered on various social media platforms. So Alice, Gabe, and all of their mutual friends decided that they were going to do everything they could to dig up the addresses of commentators covering Nova, so they could post the information online and use it to harass said people. As I'm sure many of you know by now, I was targeted by this scheme. Gabe and his friends found what they believed was my home and my family, then deciding to post this information on the Kiwi Farms. There, Gabe would post what he believes to be pictures of my entire family, my wife, my kids, my dogs. It took users about 5 minutes to figure out that this was a fail dox, and that these people had nothing to do with me. Gabe, seeing his support wither, decided to turn tail and run. The owner of the Kiwi Farms, Null, would pull the IP from the post, and of course, it came from Nova's hometown, basically confirming that this was his attempt. We have further proof of it being him in Discord messages, but we'll get to those later. The whole reason I'm bringing this up now is because Alice has now turned on Nova. What was once a friendship so strong they were willing to harass families together has fallen apart, and Alice has completely turned on Gabe, leaking their private phone conversations to fellow YouTuber Bloodspeth. What you're about to see is a clip of a phone call between Alice and Nova, where they discuss their desires to dox commentators that cover Nova unfavorably, believing that their doxings will be so successful they'll make a podcast out of it.
But one thing that I have to have on my Subway sandwich is extra red onion.
Yeah, onions are like pretty bold to me.
Yeah, and I get plenty of onions because they're smoky repellent. Smokey hates onions.
Yeah, we should drop a ton of onions off at his doorstep.
That would be fucking hilarious. but I don't think he's been phone booked yet.
Bro, we're close to getting... Did you see Bloodspeth's hand?
Yeah, it's off his fingers. Imagine if he's fat just like Lemur.
I had a... Bro, yeah. I think he is. Unironically.
And yeah, we got all that dirt on him now.
Yeah, he hasn't been posting as much.
Yeah, I think his last 7 or 8 community posts have been about me. Yeah, he's at the top of my list for project commentator down.
Yeah, we need to start working on that, actually. Yeah, we need to get Solidus, too. We need to get Shin Universe. All of them. Yeah, ask me.
Would you want to be in the first episode of Project Commentator Down on Apple Podcasts?
Of course. I'd love to.
Nova will constantly complain about how the trolls are harassing him, about how what they're doing is illegal and they need to stop. Well, personally, I can say I've never tried to dox Nova. I never wanted to send things to his house or put pictures of his mom online. He has tried to do all of that to me and to all the other commentators who simply cover his antics. Antics is really the wrong choice of words. Predatory behavior, that's the ticket. Gabe cannot stand the fact that everyone knows his dirty secrets and that it's affected him so significantly. But I truly believe that it's all from notoriety, not from trolls harassing him. The reason why his life is so terrible is because he's so infamous and so well known. But Gabe wants to blame it all on just a handful of people, so that he can target them any way he can. A prime example of this would be the recent striking of Chin Universe, another channel who regularly covers Gabriel's, I shouldn't say antics again, predatory behavior. Well, Gabe didn't like this too much, and decided that he was going to use the YouTube copyright system inappropriately to copyright strike content that was well within fair use. Initially, these strikes did go through, but after human review, they were reversed. Here is a piece of a phone call between Alice and Nova where they discuss this situation. Notice how particularly enthusiastic Gabe is about false copyright striking.
I almost got Chin, actually.
How?
The copyright strikes.
Oh yeah, you did. But why is he posting again? How is he like going under? Isn't he like editing all his descriptions to like the fair use thingy?
Now he is. But I only made sure to strike videos that were blatantly copied.
Yeah.
And even though I managed to get 3 videos taken down, Chin still had his channel. Now he's only down to 1 strike.
I wish YouTube would stop letting him get away with it.
Get this. He deleted a ton of videos when he was about to get banned.
Of course he did.
That's an admission of guilt right fucking there.
They also discuss it here in this Discord text message. I won the second DMCA removal request. One more and he's gone. Who's the thief now, bitch? Except I never stole any videos. He then tries to call Alice, but she doesn't answer, so he spams her Discord. Nova and Alice often discuss getting people. If you remember my last video, he wrote an entire list of people who he hated and saw as trolls. I also find it extremely interesting that Gabe was focusing on the amount of strikes that had stuck. It's proof that he wasn't just striking videos that he thought were theft. No, this was a coordinated attack, with the planned outcome being the deletion of the Chin universe. If that's not copyright misuse, I don't know what is. In trying to bend the rules of YouTube to suit his needs, he broke them, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that his channel could face future repercussions. A lot of these phone calls between Alice and Nova are of an inappropriate nature. It's either that or what you just saw, them bragging about perceived wins, but there was one phone call in this leak that stood out in particular, and that made me push this segment to the forefront of the video. This is not a happy phone call. Nova is absolutely losing it. It was right after the only person who hung out with him in real life said they were done with him. It's the same friend that Bloodspeth would eventually interview, the one that said Nova smelt of cat pee, the same one who knew Gabe was an internet predator and went out of his way to befriend him, leaving him gifts of food and mowing his lawn. Well, Gabe must have been pretty upset to see all of that come to an end, because right after he called Alice bawling.
Are you okay?
No, I'm far from okay. Two of my friends fucking turned their backs on me.
Oh
including my
no.
only IRL friend.
I'm so sorry. How did they do that? I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
I can't fucking suffer like this anymore.
Don't do anything, please.
Can't take this anymore. Why do you think I tried to myself? I tried to. I got marks on my arm. I don't know what to do either. I think the only way out of this is if I.
No, absolutely not.
I'm putting the knife away. I'm putting the knife away.
Please.
Did you see what I just sent you?
Oh no. Please don't do that to yourself.
Now's not the time, Mom. And it had to happen while my mental health was at its lowest. And I want to talk about what happened. It'll make me want to hurt myself even more. Only because of the bullshit that happened today. There's absolutely nothing that can cheer me up right now. I don't want to, but there's voices in my head telling me to do it. I've never felt this bad in my life. No one online really cares. You don't get the problem. I have a question, but you're probably going to say no to it. You can DoorDash me some orange soda, Dr. Pepper for 7-Eleven, please, if you can.
I know you just watched all that, but let's put it on paper for perspective. Gabe calls up Alice, bawling about how his friend left him. After dry heaving, Gabe starts to threaten himself, sending Alice pictures of his scraped up arm. What he considers to be something serious is nothing more than a couple of scratches leaving a red mark. But after threatening himself quite profusely, he asks Alice to get him some DoorDash, and he doesn't just stop at once, giving her his order while his mom screams at him to take the dog outside.
Might make me feel better.
Okay, write it down.
It's open 24 hours in my area. Just orange soda and Dr. Pepper, and if you want to throw in the surprise, it's okay. Now's not the time, Mama! Any orange soda works. Whatever saves you the most money, if that's what you prefer. 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for asking this. I actually am. Just surprise me as long as there's no olives. I just have to go for a walk. I can't believe this happened. Really close. Like, my only IRL friend close. It didn't break the skin, but I wish you were here with me. Good thing Facebook isn't streaming anymore. Now's not the time! Hey, give me a moment! I was trying not to hurt myself, okay? Because I'm not taking the dog out.
I tell ya, nothing pulls me out of an absolute tailspin of despair, quite like the knowledge that 7-Eleven is 24/7. What I'm getting at, and I don't say this lightly, is that this phone call to Alice and the whole situation was 100% for attention. Gabe wants people to think that TikTok is his emotional outlet for all of his frustrations, but truly it's the people around him, his mother and buddy trolls. So when he lost his lawn mowing boyfriend, he lost not only a competent lawnmower, but also one of the few people that he could lay all of his problems upon, as well as mistreat, all under the guise of venting. If you need further proof of this, look no further than the next section of this video, because I know this is going to sound crazy, but Nova's next door neighbor has begun to speak out against him, and he has a lot to say, especially regarding the way that he treats his family, as well as the community. This next door neighbor would do an interview with fellow YouTuber Bloodspeth, and they would start off talking about how the neighbor came to know of Gabe's internet infamy.
All right, so first impressions of Nova. When we moved into the house, I did not know who lived next door. Basically, when I moved in, I saw him for the first time, and I was kind of questioning of who he was, and basically he was just acting weird when I first met him. To be honest, I just didn't know who he was. He was sometimes coming out of the house and yelling at his dog and just being very loud and obnoxious. And I kind of just put up with it for the first bit, and after that, I saw on TikTok his face, and I was like, wait a second, that is my neighbor. And at work, I asked people if they knew this person because I saw he had a high following account. So some of my coworkers already previously knew him, and then they couldn't believe that he was actually my neighbor. And that's kind of how it all started, was him just being loud and obnoxious, me seeing his face.
If Gabe was maybe just a little bit quieter of a neighbor, I don't know if this guy would have ever found out about Nova. It sounds like Gabe has a lot of unrecorded meltdowns, which seem to be the neighbor's primary gripe with him, but there are other, much more shocking things to come. After learning how the neighbor was introduced to Gabe's internet infamy, they would start talking about what Nova stories the neighbor had, and what was said was pretty interesting.
And then I've also had impounding officials come in and try and remove certain vehicles from his property.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I've had multiple talks about his dog with him, because his dog tried biting my ankles one time when I was working on our fence. And I talked. He's apologized for a dog coming over trying to bite me and being aggressive and stuff, but it's just a Chihuahua, so it doesn't really scare me. But when we first moved in and I was cooking barbecue out in the backyard or just out there with my family,
Mm-hmm.
he would try and talk over the fence to me, and I would just keep it short. The most that I remember talking to him about was he locked himself out of his house, and he was trying to figure out how to get back in, and he ended up crawling through his window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he basically opened the window and then started just shoveling out DoorDash meals to make an entry for himself. The whole time he basically apologizing that we had to witness that, and he's like, "Don't you hate that? Don't you hate when you lock yourself out of your house?" I'm like, "Yep, totally get it." Like,
Don't you hate it when you lock yourself out of your house and your disabled mother can't let you in? So you have to go in through your window, which requires you to literally shovel DoorDash out of the way so you can get in. Don't you guys hate when that happens? Well, something else that Gabe hates is his dog. The neighbor would also allege that Gabe is screaming for poor Mouse at all hours of the night, along with Mouse's generally aggressive nature.
I've tried to hit privacy modes on it so it doesn't register all the DoorDash drivers that he gets.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times when he has tantrums, he triggers my camera and it just automatically records. So
Wow. Okay, and you mentioned that previously as well, saying it wakes you up in the middle of the night. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
So his dog likes to run away a lot. This is the most that he basically wakes us up. He will scream for his dog's name. He won't come down the porch unless he has to.
Mm-hmm.
So his dog will run down the porch and run off in the front lawn or go across the street, come into my lawn, whatever. And he'll, instead of going down and getting his dog, he's basically just yelling at the top of his lungs, screaming for his dog named Mouse. So he's screaming Mouse, 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 like over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that in the middle of the night is not fun because it wakes my family up.
Words cannot describe how bad I feel for Gabe's dog and cat. The home is a literal biohazard at this point. Numerous species of insects are vying for control over regions of Gabe's home. The kitchen is so filthy we haven't seen it used in years. And Gabe isn't letting his animals out or cleaning up after them properly. I would bet my bottom dollar that the volume of animal waste in that house is shocking, and the interview would actually shine more light on this in particular. Apparently, the only person in that house who actually forces Gabe to do something doesn't live there. Allegedly, Nova's aunt has been known to come around and force Gabe to clean, primarily focusing on said animal waste. After the cleaning's done, if Gabe's a good boy, he gets a treat. The aunt comes over almost every Friday to take Gabe wherever he wants, places like Dave and Buster's.
His aunt likes to come over and basically make him clean and basically helps him out, give him groceries. It seems like she's actually a nice lady and she wants to kick Gabriel out, but she can't because it's not her son. It's just her sister's son. So, basically, whenever she comes over, though, there's either a big tantrum fight from Nova, and he throws a fit, and his aunt basically doesn't put up with his bullshit and puts him back in his place. The aunt took away her vehicle. So it seems to me like the aunt, I'm assuming it's the aunt. It sounds like it's the aunt. Seems like she's the only responsible one out of the two of them. So the aunt drives their car and basically doesn't give it to them because I don't think she's supposed to be driving, so she doesn't want her to try and drive, I'm assuming. But Nova can't drive either. I think he doesn't have a license, I don't believe. So.
No, he doesn't. So it's always what you assume to be his aunt driving?
Yeah, so the aunt will come by every Friday afternoon, and I'm talking about every Friday. They go out somewhere. She takes Nova out somewhere out in the wilderness to either Dave and Buster's or wherever he wants to go, and that's like his one time a week he gets to go out on his own.
The craziest thing to me is that Gabe's family seems to actually have nice people in it. Gabe would have the random person believe that I'm some sort of monster who would post pictures of his entire family so they got harassed. But the reality is, Gabe is trying to do this, to silence his critics. In my opinion, this makes Nova a far bigger troll than almost everyone who's bothered him. So why should people care when he's crying about trolls ruining his life, when he is trying to, and has done, so much worse? This is why even people like his lawn mowing boyfriend can't stand up for him anymore. That guy may have been cool with Nova being a predator, but is he okay with the other plethora of things that Gabe's been accused of and has done? Nova is not only a manipulator and a liar, but also a massive nuisance on his local community. The next thing that the neighbor and Bloodspeth would talk about is Nova drunkenly singing in the middle of the night, along with how the other neighbors interact and feel about Gabe.
There was a night a couple weeks ago. We were dead asleep. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and it seemed like he was drunk. And he was like singing or being super loud at night, making these weird noises. And by the time I got up to wonder what was going on, he went back inside already. But very brief moments, he comes out and then goes back into his house. Yeah, so I'm one of the youngest people on the blocks. Mm-hmm. I would say that most of my neighbors are pretty older, or they're a lot older than I am. Mm-hmm. So they don't intend to be on the internet, I don't think. They know of him. I know the neighbor across his house has reported to the city hall multiple times about mice and just trash in his front lawn and not cutting his front lawn. And the neighbor next to him, that's not next to me, obviously, but his other neighbor, he has mowed Nova's house a couple times just to make his house look decent, because it'll get knee high, and Nova won't do anything about it. So, basically, if no one chips in as charity in the neighborhood, someone will mow the lawn just so the neighborhood looks a little bit nicer. Mm-hmm. But basically, all the neighbors I've talked to know about him, and they know he's been an issue for a while, and I think they're just counting down the days until law enforcement finally takes him away.
So it seems like the whole neighborhood is aware of Gabe, but their problem with him goes beyond internet infamy. It's mostly about the state of his home. I'm not even joking when I say this. Gabe has brought down the property values of his neighbors, legitimately costing them money. If what the neighbor said is true, Gabe doesn't mow his lawn. He waits for others to do it, and I firmly believe this. I've never seen a photo of him mowing, and the grass continues to get higher every day. With his lawn mowing boyfriend gone, that's not going to change anytime soon. And it sounds like neither is the mouse problem. I don't mean Nova's dog, I mean actual mice. It is the neighbor's belief that these small rodents are living in the USPS boxes outside of Nova's house, and that the infestation is so severe that it's now spreading to other homes.
So someone pranked him with all these USPS boxes. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure you've seen them.
Yes, yeah.
But they are a big nuisance, according to both my neighbors across the street and the one to the other side of me, because they're afraid that in the wintertime, if they stay there, it will attract mice. And it's already been a known issue with mice in his household. The previous winter, before I got here, I had reports tell me that mice are bad in this house because of his house. Basically, they were coming from Nova's house trying to get into this house. So I had to do some stuff around the house, basically seal everything up, because I was afraid this winter I was going to get mice from his house. And the neighbor across the street has seen mice coming from his house just in the blatant winter times. So she says she's gone to the city twice now because of his house being trash, or mice was a big one as well.
Nova considers these boxes to be a horrible form of harassment, but he was absolutely excited at the prospect of sending my co-host onions. It's rules for thee and not for me. Gabe wants to harass others without being harassed himself. These boxes are a minor inconvenience for Gabe, but instead of getting rid of them, he's turned them into a big inconvenience for the neighborhood, making a veritable rat palace that he has no intentions of cleaning up. Gabe cannot be bothered to do any sort of upkeep on his home, so it's not shocking that the way he treats his family is also very poor. What Bloodspeth and the neighbor talked about next was a medical event that Gabe's mom had. Apparently, she OD'd. Gabe claims that it was weed, but we don't know for sure. What we do know is that it was so serious that after her hospital visit, Gabe's mom had a month-long stay at rehab.
Yeah, so his mom in late March, according to Nova, when he was talking about it to the agent outside, he said that she OD'd or got hurt on weed, apparently, from what Nova was saying. I don't know how entirely true that was. That statement was from Nova, but she was put in rehab at Iron Horse Rehab in Coeur d'Alene for 30 days. You said what?
When was that?
It was late March.
Late March.
And then his mom just came back a couple weeks ago. So she was there for around 30 days and then got released. And when she was released back to the house, that same day, I actually asked Nova when he was trying to talk to me outside when I was doing yard work. I asked him when his mom was coming home, and he said she was coming home today. And I was surprised because there wasn't a ramp, there wasn't nothing until the very last minute until she arrived. And
Gabriel's mom is disabled and requires a wheelchair for mobility. This, along with the fact that hardly anyone has ever overdosed on weed, have led people to suspect that there are prescriptions involved. 30 days is quite the stay at rehab, but I doubt that we'll ever know the true details. One thing that we do know with pretty well certainty is how Nova treated his mom after she returned from rehab. Upon her return, she required the use of a ramp, and Nova was not physically strong enough to help her into the house, so he would have to call the fire department for help, something that has apparently become a common occurrence.
When she got home, he tried to push her up the ramp one time, and she fell. And she basically was lying on the gravel for about 30 minutes until the fire department came to
He didn't help
pick her up. He tried, and he couldn't help her. And his aunt couldn't help her. The aunt was there as well. That was the first time. The aunt and Nova were trying to get her up, couldn't get her up. So they called the fire department. Fire department came by, picked her up, and put her in the house. And after that, they haven't even tried to push her up the ramp anymore. They just, when they get home from one of her doctor appointments, I'm assuming, they just leave her out in the driveway until the fire department comes to basically put her in the house.
So every single time, they don't bother trying to push her up. They just call the fire department.
Correct. This last time, Nova told the fire department that they were getting a ramp this next week to help better the situation. But I'm afraid the ramp, whatever ramp he's talking about, either won't fit or he's still not going to be able to push her up. And, if he has anything else, he'll Uber. But the one day he got the Uber driver to help push his mom into the car, and that was just, I thought she was going to fall. It was bad.
his aunt, firefighters, Uber drivers. Who isn't he getting to try and help his mom in the car? Oh, that's right, himself. What I find most illuminating about this interview is Gabriel's attitude towards his community, which is apparently full of elders. Instead of trying to help them, he expects the opposite, that his neighbors and local officials are all there to serve him. The dichotomy between the neighbor and Nova is fascinating. This neighbor seems like he's not that much older than Gabe. He has a full-fledged life and is a help around the community. Meanwhile, Gabe is the opposite. Instead of being known for helping out, he's known for the amount of DoorDash he orders.
So he orders DoorDash 2 to 3 times a day. And it's either from 7-Eleven, 76, like gas stations, like small snacks and foods, or it is random restaurants around that he'll DoorDash. Very rarely does he come back with groceries. And if he does, he gets the groceries delivered to his house. He doesn't go out and get them.
Wow. 2 to 3 times a day? Really? Is that consistently?
Yeah, I actually had to turn off my front porch camera because I was catching so many vehicle drivers coming into his driveway, and it was like registering it as like detection notified. So I was getting around 2 to 3 Uber drivers a day, or Uber Eats drivers or DoorDash drivers a day. Mm-hmm. And from what I know is if they mess up his order, he'll try and refund the whole meal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just terrible. Like, it's none of the DoorDashers' fault. So
Nova would have you believe that he lost around 70 pounds without medical intervention, but his neighbor says that he DoorDashes 2 to 3 times at least. He constantly reviews fast food, along with sugary drinks. It becomes clearer to me with every video that something else is going on. I've heard the word Ozempic tossed around, as well as diabetic ketoacidosis, and upon delving deeper into that, it's terrifying, as is what unregulated sugar can do to the human body. But you know what else is probably terrifying? Trying to wash your dishes in your kitchen, and you hear a man-child screaming next door, so loud that it wakes up your kid.
Yeah, so his front porch faces my back porch. Mm-hmm. So when I am doing I've actually had to yell at him before because he was losing his mind and having a tantrum. And my kid was crying, and it was so loud that I think it was making my kid upset. And they were sleeping, and my kid woke up and was just crying. So I actually opened up my kitchen window and yelled at Nova to shut up. And he said he apologized. And his mom basically scolded him for it as well. Told him how he needed to calm down. But yeah, when it comes to yelling, I'm sure 2 to 3 houses down can hear him for how loud he is.
Jeez, what was the that specific tantrum about, if you remember?
That one was a Uber. He thought he was going to miss an Uber appointment or meetup. So it was for his mom and him, and I guess something happened where she couldn't fit in one of the cars. So they had to get a different Uber, and that's when he lost his mind. Sorry. He kind of paces back and forth and just yells out loud.
Okay.
It's not really directed at anyone. It's kind of just he paces back and forth and just yells. Yeah, I think that's the one time so far that I've actually been frustrated with him.
I bet.
As being a neighbor, personally, because he woke up my kid and I was a little upset. So.
But all of this is pretty small in comparison to the next clip I'm about to show you, because Nova's neighbor alleged that a fellow neighbor had told him a story about Gabe, and this story is pretty disturbing. The old lady would allege that Nova was responsible for the death of a hound, kicking it during a rage.
My neighbor that's been here for 25 years, I mow her lawn, I update her lawn, and I try and help her out with everything she can because she's an elderly woman.
Mm-hmm.
She told me when they first moved in, they actually had 2 dogs a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess their one dog, according to my neighbor, said that he threw a tantrum and kicked it so hard he killed it. So I don't know how true this is because I wasn't moved in here yet, but my elderly neighbor that's been here for a long time, and she's super religious, super nice. She said that Nova threw a tantrum and kicked the dog so hard it killed it.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
And that she said out of all the dog owners that shouldn't have dogs, he is one especially because she believed that he shouldn't own a dog after that incident.
After this interview, Gabe would allege that the dog died from cancer, but deleted the Twitter post that he made about it, leading many people to speculate even further. The neighbor claims that he did not see this event, but he has seen Nova being unkind to his animals before, talking about it further in his interview with Bloodspeth.
Today, for example, his dog hasn't been let outside once. And like a dog needs to go outside every now and then, like to go to the bathroom. So not once today since I've been home. I've been awake since 7 o'clock this morning, and the dog has not been outside once. So his aunt will make Nova put on rubber gloves and clean up the dog shit and piss in the house because he does not take care of that dog at all. I've actually almost called animal control a couple times because it's ran off and tried biting me, and I feel bad for the dog. I really do. I'm a guy that owns 2 dogs, and I love my dogs. Like I adore them, take them on walks all the time. It just frustrates me to see that he's being so mean to that dog.
The neighbor says that Gabe hardly lets his animal outside, further compounding the theory that there are mountains of animal waste inside. You also heard earlier where Gabe's mom was yelling at him to take Mouse outside, but he was too busy attention baiting with Alice. This is a pretty common theme when it comes to Gabe, letting the world fall apart around him, only caring about his own selfish desires, and not how they impact the people he interacts with. Even what appears to be some kind of detective investigating Gabe hasn't deterred his behavior. The neighbor would also bring up in the interview that Gabe had been seen talking to a detective in regards to a number of things, from his predatory behavior to that list he wrote of all of his trolls.
Yeah, so it first started talking about the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically told Nova to quit the internet, completely go cold turkey on it because it's going to not do him a favor at all. Like he's digging himself a bigger hole, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And Nova basically said he can't because that's how he gets his source of income. And then he was asking Nova about the income of how much he makes for cameos, paracord, whatever. And he was saying that he makes $200 to $300 a month off of those. And the agent specifically told him that is not enough to live by. And he's like, do you understand me? And Nova's like, yes. And then after that, they were talking about his mom, like, where's your mom at? And that's when I heard him say that she's at Iron Horse Rehab for Odine. He was calm, writing stuff down. Nova was panicking and freaking out. And then the list came up and asked Nova if he knew about it. And he just said it was a names list. And then the agent was basically asking, is it a hit list? And Nova said, no, it's not. It's just people that I despise and trolls. Yeah, he basically just said that, like, you're stealing his content and you're getting money from it. It should be illegal what you're doing. And he said there was someone in Michigan or something. I can't remember the name he said, but he was talking about the name, and then the agent said, well, where does he live? And he's like, oh, in Michigan. And he's like, well, that's not my problem. You're my problem.
Okay.
And continued to ask Nova about all these documents that he had, all them reports, all the chat rooms. He asked him multiple times about these chat rooms, about these 18 and under chat rooms, and 18 plus and
Ooh,
how he
18
verifies
shot
people.
rules.
Being unable to properly care for his disabled mother, a nuisance around the neighborhood, and a terrible pet owner were some of the many things that Bloodspeth and Nova's neighbor discussed during their interview. If you want to watch the full thing, I have it linked in the description. After you're done here, go give it a watch. I can't recommend it enough, because this is legitimately Nova's neighbor. It's been confirmed. And when it was, Gabe was not at all happy with the aforementioned neighbor.
Okay, I normally make a text post when I'm pissed off, but my neighbor, if you're watching this, what the actual fuck is wrong with you for making lies about me? Seriously, fuck.
The main point that Gabe was bothered with were the accusations of him kicking that dog. He gave almost no pushback on all the other stories, like the fire department and the detective. Even though the neighbor had said about all he had to say on Gabe, life was far from overthrowing curveballs at Nova Online. A couple days later, some trolls came to Nova's house and spray-painted pedo equals Nova on the side of his home, and after complaining about it for like a day, Nova decided he was going to paint over it, but he was going to do all of this on a live stream. So he boots up the live stream and starts painting, only for his neighbor to come over and start talking to him.
Dude, that video was 2 months ago. Why drag the South Park meme? Alright. You can kind of clearly see where the vandalism took place, and we still got that bit to do. Because if I just paint over the letters, it'll be pretty apparent what was said. And I fucking hate being humiliated IRL, so I cannot stop swearing when I'm in this kind of mood.
You know, you can go to Sherman, if that color doesn't match,
Yeah?
go to Sherman-Williams, like, take a chip of paint off of your house,
Oh.
go to Sherman-Williams, they'll match it, so it'll blend in perfectly with your siding.
Oh, I just have to cover this up fast.
Okay.
So if I have to get an exact match, I'll just get that later.
You know how to do that, though?
Not really, no.
You just go to, there's Sherman-Williams down the street,
Oh, shit, yeah, right.
yeah, and you just take them a color match of your siding.
Oh, okay.
They'll match it, so when you paint it again, you won't even see that.
Okay, yeah. I just want to cover it up now, and then I'll get an exact match later.
You could probably take your tricycle and go there.
Yeah. Hey, I actually just got it fixed.
Yeah, I know you did. It's nice.
Yeah, thank you.
You ever go fix up one of those motorcycles?
My mom's actually planning on selling them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you have any interested buyers, I can give you her number. They just need to find out who did it, and then they can make an arrest. And then I'm going to take a picture of this wall and put it into the harassment files. But I tried scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing last night to no avail.
Nova's neighbor is trying to maintain a cordial relationship, but is also trying to make the public aware of just how much of a nuisance Nova is. He's literally caught between a rock and a hard place. So after talking with Gabe a little bit about the paint, he comes back to speak with him again, questioning his past predatory behavior.
One more letter.
You know I'm not after you, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
If you did something bad, which I hope you don't.
I didn't.
I hope so.
Oh yeah, and also that one lady to you lied about my dog. She died of cancer in 2024.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's actually what happened. I didn't kick her.
You like take her to the doctor and get a report of it?
We didn't know something was bad with her until it was too late.
So what'd you guys do with her?
We ended up burying her in the backyard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog back home died of cancer a couple days ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I had lung cancer. What kind of cancer did your dog have?
We aren't sure actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but she started losing weight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what really happened. But I just wanted to let you know, because I'm not that kind of person.
I never said you did. I just said that's what I was told.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
I heard about it, and that's all I mentioned. That's why I said allegedly.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to let you know what actually happened. I don't want people thinking
Well, I heard there was something about one of your dogs.
A long time ago. That was almost a decade ago.
Was it here?
No, that was at my old house by Super One.
Super One. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I don't know if you watched that interview all the way, but
I didn't. Yeah, but as I said, I don't like that guy, so.
we all have our own opinions.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear up the air with you, so.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that, like, I'm not upset. I'm not trying to upset you or anything.
Yeah.
All I was trying to say was you did do something wrong, which, even if I did something wrong, I wish we would get punished for it.
I understand that, yeah.
So if like, you did something wrong, you gotta serve your time.
Yeah, which obviously I didn't do anything bad. I just wanted to clear up the air with you.
Yeah, and like you know, I have a daughter.
Yeah.
So if you did something with underage girls,
I absolutely did not, so.
all I'm saying is if you did,
As soon as Nova's neighbor starts saying stuff about turning himself in, that's when Gabe ends the live stream. He expected this live stream to be a poor me moment, look at how I'm being harassed, but he would do this to anyone on his list in a heartbeat. Nova is a massive hypocrite, and despite what you might think, an egomaniac. Gabriel puts on a very noticeable front when he's on camera, trying to present what he thinks is a cool, slightly nerdy guy with amazing knowledge of convenience store items. But behind the scenes, Gabe is much more desperate. He craves attention and adoration from almost anyone. As I'm sure you heard from his earlier phone call, he has no friends in real life, so his social outlet is Discord, but he lacks the awareness to realize almost everyone talking to him has ulterior motives. Maybe he realizes this, but is so starved for attention that he'll put up with it. Either way, this situation has led to numerous DM leaks, and I'm going to read the finest of them here for you now. What you're about to see are 4 different people, not at all connected, who have individually exposed their DMs with Gabe, starting with this one where he further discusses the harassment files. Trolls are people that mess with me. Like just regular hate comments, I don't consider those trolls, but you try to betray me and leak DMs, send me shit I didn't order, or leak footage from your security camera, cough cough wheeze cough, then yeah, it's a troll. Who is redacted? My neighbor, who I recently found out was a troll. He conveniently left for vacation today. Then he talks about how he made this for if something ever happens to him. And that reveals the true nature of the harassment files. They most likely don't exist, will never be released, or have absolutely no impact. It's all just a big lie from Gabe to scare his supposed trolls. The next set of leaks discusses his doxing attempt on me, and this, along with the IP, are the confirmation that Gabe was actually behind this. But they start off discussing the bike. Nova says that he's ridden it 3 times, and when he's asked more about it, he says that repairs were only $85. A couple of months back, Nova asked his audience for over $200 to repair his bike, only just getting it repaired now, claiming the shop was too busy, and it also seems like he pocketed over $100 in the process. Just one in a long line of scams that Nova has pulled. After that, they start talking about the doxing attempt against me, and how it was an abject failure. We got kiwitapes. It's official. Huh, and you just believed that, pretty much. Also, that's kinda from April. Why now? And who is we? There are too many red flags here. Just a little side note, I have a pretty good idea of who we is. And it seems that much like Gabe, they're not too fond of their predatory behavior being displayed to the wider internet. But let me continue. I have no idea, but I had zero partake in this. Maybe this person was talking about another person they worked with. Nix responds with, "Yet you were the one who put the messages as the final blow in Kiwi Farms," saying that yes, he basically did partake in it. I think the craziest thing about all of this is I could show you a picture of Nova's mom, I could show you a picture of his aunt, I could show you a picture of his house, but I don't do any of that because it's not his mom's fault, it's not his neighbor's fault. Gabe is 110% to blame for his current situation, but he'd rather blame people like me. It ties back into the theme of Nova being a massive hypocrite. creating something called the harassment files because supposedly so many people are bothering you, while behind the scenes trying to harass people who do nothing but call out your predatory behavior and document your abjectly disgusting lifestyle. There is nothing you and your buddies can do to stop the documentation or to stop people from giving their opinions on the situation. That will never change. Every scheme that you all have attempted has failed, being nothing but a waste of time for you. But your wasted time makes me very happy. Waste as much as you like hunting me down. That is less time that you all will have to prey upon children and share disgusting imagery. But I've digressed enough. Let me get back into the messages. They continue talking about the doxing, with Nova saying, "To be honest, I just did what the trolls did to me. But as I've learned, 2 wrongs don't make a right." I just want to quickly point out, I've never done anything like that to Gabe. I would also like to point out that people usually learn that 2 wrongs don't make a right before the age of 22. They then go back and forth with some small talk, and Nova then says, "Just because of what happened, I cried myself to sleep. I hated myself so much." Well, Gabe, maybe you wouldn't hate yourself if you didn't take part in such evil behavior. You are literally everything you accuse your trolls of being. Even worse, I would say. After this, they discuss the spray painting incident, with Gabe saying that he had to fork over $60 to Ace Hardware just to get a paint bucket. He then says that he talked about it with his neighbor, and that he didn't condone the vandalism, even trying to help him, according to his wife. This is probably in reference to the spray paint stream. After that, they begin to talk about security cameras, which Nova claims are for future crimes people try to commit on my property, claiming that if his current cameras decided to work, he would have more evidence for the cops. If you remember earlier, the neighbor discusses Gabe putting up security cameras to catch the trolls, but not properly fastening them, being set off by the wind and blown over. The end of this DM chain is poetic. Nova says if you were a true friend, you wouldn't leak DMs regardless, and Nyx tells him you'll be seeing of me soon. This was probably the largest leak. It talked about the doxing attempt and the bike repairs. The next one we're going to talk about is the one that I find most interesting, because it's just Gabe telling a guy how sad he is. FMMFL. I've hit rock bottom. I'm crying, and I don't know why. Back says maybe you need to get off social media for a while. And Gabe says that's not why I'm crying. It's my aunt. She keeps bitching for no reason. She's probably quote-unquote bitching because you have a mountain of animal feces inside, or over the fact that you, a somewhat healthy 22-year-old man, cannot care for his own disabled mother. Or maybe it's the fact that you prey upon children. It could be any of those. In this next message chain, Nova says, "I hate to message you so late, but I don't feel safe alone." Crying emoji. After a little bit of talk about Discord, he says, "Me and my mom are having issues. I feel worthless and unvalued. I actually want to samurai myself, and I want someone on the phone to make sure I don't." Back then asks them if they've contacted crisis services, and Nova says that he won't because if he does, his mom will get angry. Also claiming that he's crying right now, and he never cries. If I didn't understand Gabe's psyche quite so well, I'd find this message chain sad. But Gabe does this to just about everyone he knows or has contact with, and he's also a man who has had songs written about how big of a predator he is. My sympathy is more than diminished. The next day, they begin discussing the situation further. I'd rather not talk about it. I really should have gone to the crisis center last night. I have one about 15 minutes from my house. I don't think I need one right now. The counselor I was talking to last night made me cry, and I never cry. This is like the 3rd time we've talked about you crying in this video alone. We just watched an entire phone call of you weeping to Alice, saying a lot of the same shit, but also leveraging it to get soda. I like to think myself a pretty creative guy, but I couldn't even write this shit. Samurai baiting for sodas? It's almost as wild as the fact that Tofiachu is selling her blood for Hello Kitty merch. This year has been absolutely nuts. But once again, I am digressing. Let's get on to the next set of leaks. In the words of some other predators, can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Nova's had all kinds of DMs leaked, but one thing I never expected to see were Clash of Clans chats. We've seen them in the past, but it's still fascinating that he's playing Clash of Clans in 2026. That's not at all a dig on anybody. I loved the game once upon a time, but hadn't thought of it for years until I saw these messages. Nova, you kicked your dog. Admit it. There's literally a video of you kicking your dog on live. I saw you do it. Joe Biden says, not gonna lie, this is insane. Why did any of this ever happen? And Gabe angrily responds, keep it up, I'll kick you. She did not yelp, so I didn't kick her. And my neighbor said allegedly, not for sure. It's all false. The dog died of cancer in 2024, not by it being kicked. I never even kicked her. The topic of how Gabe treats his animals has been heavily discussed recently among people who watch Nova. It is my opinion that at the very least his animals are being mistreated. At the very least. It's also been noted that Mouse is very aggressive, which is kind of common among Chihuahuas, but that aggression comes from a place of fear. It seems like Mouse is living in abject terror, so whatever's happening in there, it's not good for him. Or the cat, which I've only seen like twice. It's very elusive, probably spending most of its time hunting rats out of the heap. So Gabe's not only had numerous Discord DMs leak, but also Clash of Clans chats, as well as his Snapchat stories, which we're beginning to see more of. I've lost all hope. I feel like no one loves me. I have no idea where this fits in the timeline. I think it might have been right after his Etsy page was closed down, which is something we'll probably discuss in the next Nova video. Today was about all of the bombshells that have been dropping over the past few weeks. Alice's betrayal, the neighbor interview, the doxing attempt on me, visits from the FBI, the fire department, and very many mice. We've known for a long time that there are no lows Gabe won't stoop to, no one that he won't hurt to get what he wants. But recently, Gabe has been even more emboldened by kindred spirits who believe he shouldn't be criticized, but nothing will stop me or dozens of other people from covering it and uncovering just what you've been up to, because I have a bad feeling that there's so much we don't know about.